Hi, in today's video I'm going to be covering how to upgrade to xmonad 17.1, which has just been released. Now in a previous video I showed you how to install xmonad 17 using Haskell stack in about 30 minutes. And this is the video here, and these are the notes going with the video. So what I'm going to do is actually show you how to upgrade a xmonad stack install to 17.1. And there's only a few steps. So if you followed my guide on how to install xmonad with stack, there's only a couple of steps you need to do. If you haven't got xmonad installed at all, just have a look at that video and follow this guide and it will get you going. So what we're going to do is dive in and come across to our xmonad directory, which is cd config xmonad. And then in there, what you'll see is we've got several files. We've got a stack.yaml file, a stack.yaml.lock file, an xmonad directory, xmonad.contrib, and our xmonad.hs file, which is our configuration file. So there's only a couple of steps to this. So first of all, what you need to do is move the stack.yaml and lock file to the desktop. So we're going to do, I've already gone through and upgraded xmonad, so I can't actually show you because I've already done the upgrade, but I can show you the steps that you go through. So mv stack, move that to the desktop like that. So that's the first step, to move the stack YAML and stack YAML lock file to the desktop. And then once you've done that, what you need to do is come into the xmonad and xmonad-contrib directories, which are actually Git repositories for xmonad, and do a git pull to pull down the latest version. So we just go into xmonad, and what you want to do is check what the name of the remote is. So we run git remote-v, and that shows us the name of the remote is origin. So all we have to do is git pull origin master, and again I've done this already. So you do that and it's going to pull down the latest changes, and then you come into the xmonad-contrib directory, and it's going to be the same origin, and we just do a git pull origin master. So that's the first step of the process, is to move the YAML files to the desktop and go into the xmonad and xmonad-contrib directories and do a git pull. So then after that, if I can find where I've got my notes, is we need to come down here. You can do a stack upgrade, but it's not really necessary. It will be, I think it's 2.8.5. Basically, there's only a couple of commands you need to do. In your, in the config xmonad directory, you just run stack init. And what that will do is that will create the stack YAML and stack YAML lock files, I think. So you run stack init after doing the git pull. And if I can find the notes here. And then all you need to do is stack install. So you just come back across and do stack install. Okay, so that's the step. So move the stack YAML files to the desktop. It's the first step. Then you go into the xmonad contrib and contrib directory, do a git pull origin master. In the xmonad directory, come out, do the same thing in the contrib directory, git pull origin master. Once you've done that, you come out and you did the stack init. Then you do stack install, and that installs everything. And just for good measure, what I like to do is do an xmonad -- recompile. And the reason I do that is because, as I've shown you in another video, there's a way to make xmonad start up faster. Because every time you start up xmonad, what it does is it actually recompiles everything. And this is an issue on older hardware. because it leads to slower startup time. So what you can actually do is use a cached binary that xmonad creates to actually have faster startup times, and I showed you that in one of these videos here. Let me see, somewhere I did. Well, it'd be in this playlist. Let's have a look. I wish they'd list them alphabetically or by date, but it's in there somewhere. Maybe I haven't tagged it properly. But there's a way to basically have quicker sort of startup times with xmonad by using a cached version. I think that's the one there. Xmonad faster logins with xmonad arch, and basically that's using a sort of cached binary that xmonad creates. And what you do is in your session launcher that comes up in your login manager, basically you put in a path to this cached binary, and that will stop xmonad recompiling every time you boot up. It will just basically use the cached version of the binary, and it will start up faster. So that's why I do the xmonad -- recompile, and then for good measure I just log in and log out again. And then once I run xmonad -- version, you'll see that I'm on 0.17.1.9. So that's basically how you upgrade to xmonad 17.1 using Haskell stack. And I say this is the full setup of installing xmonad from scratch in about 30 minutes. And the advantage of doing this over using xmonad in your repository for like Ubuntu is that you'll get the latest version, and you can just do a git pull and rebuild xmonad to get any latest changes. So really quick to do. As I said, there's only a couple of things you need to do. Move the stack files out of the way, do a git pull, then you do a stack init, and then a stack install, do a recompile, log in and out, and you're good to go. So these are all the notes, and here don't recompile on startup. So this was what I was talking about, and see the video for this. But basically, you have a .cache xmonad file, and that will basically launch faster. And this is especially important on older hardware if you're running xmonad, because it said by default every time you log into xmonad it actually recompiles everything, and if you've got older hardware this can actually slow down the startup times. So that's basically the install from scratch, and also how to upgrade to 17.1. And if you're not using xmonad and you have two monitors, then you're really missing out, because xmonad is without a doubt the best window manager, desktop, whatever, for multiple monitors, because unlike practically every other window manager or desktop, what it does is it has independent workspaces per monitor. Typically what happens is workspaces will be stretched across the monitor, like in KDE. So if you're on KDE and you have workspaces and you switch a workspace, it will switch everything on the second monitor as well, which is completely useless, especially if you're watching a video. GNOME will do that, but it also lets you have the option of workspaces on just one monitor, and the other monitor doesn't have any workspaces at all, which makes moving windows about a real pain. So xmonad is without a doubt the best multi-monitor window manager desktop out there, and it's also brilliant if you're just using a laptop. So give it a go. It's really easy to actually get started. And these are all the notes, and I'll put a link to my xmonad config under the video as well. So if I just come into here, config xmonad, And you see I have a very small xmonad file. It's only just under 200 lines. And I've got things set up, like scratch pads, window tiling, tint 2, toggling the, you can toggle the bar on and off. And that's another issue that I came across with GNOME is if you're using GNOME on the desktop, without using an extension, you can't hide the panel on your laptop, which is a real pain. So xmonad for me is really the king of window managers, especially with multiple monitors. And so I'll put a link to all this under the video, but very easy to do. Takes if you want to install xmonad from scratch using stack, takes about 30 minutes. And if you want to do an upgrade, just pull down the latest Git changes and the changes in the Git repository. It only takes a couple of minutes. You just do a Git pull, stack init, stack install, and do a recompile. So I'll put links to all this under the video, but that's how you can upgrade to xmonad 17.1 using Haskell stack.